is Joanna, the National President of JCI Poland. I'm now at the JCI European Presidents meeting in Sofia, Bulgaria. I have recorded a short interview with Kevin Hin, the international officer, a very experienced JCI member who shared some of his secrets and experiences regarding the membership in JCI. I hope that this will answer many of your questions, so enjoy! Hi guys, it's Joanna from JCI Poland. We're at the JCI European Presidents meeting in Sofia, Bulgaria, and I have the pleasure to be here with my special guest, Kevin Hin, who is a very experienced JCI officer. We're now approaching the very important moment of the gala of the EPM, so this is why we look maybe a little different than in our normal lives.
Yes.
Actually, we would typically probably not walk around in tuxedos.
No, definitely not.
So this is a special moment. Every JCI event ends with a gala, which is an exciting moment of sharing experiences, saying goodbye to our peers from different countries, but also having a good time over last conversations and after each event. So having said that, how did you like the event so far, and tell me maybe how you would see this event a few years ago when you were just starting with JCI Adventure.
Okay, so first of all, dzień dobry, everyone from JCI Poland. I'm delighted to be with you and with National President Joanna. As she was saying, we don't always dress like James Bond. It's just a gala where everybody meets up at the end of each major event and gets to get together. And it's always nice to do it in a classy manner where we all represent our countries. Here I'm wearing the colours of Bulgaria, which is our host country and which has done an amazing job. So to answer your question, I'm a member of JCI Monaco, and this event, the National Presidents Meeting, takes place every year in February. It's a great way for the National Presidents of the year and the future National Presidents to meet each other, sometimes for the first time, and to link up with the members of JCI Europe, so the International Board, and most of the time the JCI President worldwide is also here, to discuss what is going on internationally, the latest news, and to see what the international organisation can bring us, develop synergies with other countries, learn from others, and create a global team, which is what our organisation and our movement has been doing for the last 104 years now. So to come back to your initial question about this event, this is I think it's my 8th European Presidents meeting. The first one I attended was in February 2010 when I was the National President of JCI Monaco, and that took place in the beautiful city of Riga in Latvia. And the concept was the same. It's a great way to learn about the culture of a country which you would not necessarily visit on holiday, and to mingle with everybody else. As I said, it's a great way to create a team of people who will be working with for the next year or even 2 years for the incoming national presidents, and to really get to know more about JCI as a worldwide organisation.
Great. So tell me a little bit about your beginnings with JCI. What brought you in the organisation and kept you for so many years?
Yeah. So to recap, I've been a member of JCI Monaco for 15 years now. I joined in November 2003, a date which is very close to my heart because it's really a date when I joined JCI that's enabled me to change my life. I first joined JCI when I moved back to Monaco. I'd been away for 6 years at university in England, notably, and I moved back to Monaco mainly for my work, and I found that it was very difficult to build a network there and to meet new people and new friends, and especially like-minded young people. It's something I'd always striven to do, and it was very difficult to do that in Monaco because I didn't know about JCI. finally, after 1 year, I met a friend who introduced me to JCI, who's still a very good friend now, and who taught me about this movement. And at my first welcome meeting, which was on the 12th of November 2003, I still remember that date, there was a table at JCI Monaco of young people gathered around where somebody, a vice president for development, was explaining what JCI does. What attracted me was the projects, the fact that you can volunteer and learning by doing, and that as a JCI member, you can actually run a project with no risk, and it's like running your own mini company or your mini business. You manage teams, you can develop skills, you can get out of your comfort zone, and that's something that immediately appealed to me when I joined the organization. But first and foremost was the fact that I met young people my age who were all successful in their business careers or developing their business careers, and who gave me lots of positive energy, because when I attended a project meeting, obviously everybody was tired after work, but we all had the energy to meet up and the pleasure of meeting up with each other and discussing things that could have impact on our communities. My first project was a very simple project. It was a networking happy hour for members of JCI, which enabled young people of the Principality to meet each other and to do that, which was the primary reason for me joining. And at the same time, I was really nervous, actually. I had to cold call bars and pubs, like potential venues, and then try to negotiate prices. We also had, so that was a way to develop sales and negotiation skills at a very basic level, of course, but it still demanded cold calling people, and I was expecting to get bad negative replies, but actually generally it was positive because people recognized JCI Monaco as a credible organization. It also enabled me to market the events and attract lots of people. So in 2 weeks, and also to actually get involved on the spot and welcome people and network, but also make sure that there were proper badges for the business cards and that sort of thing. So even a very basic event like a networking happy hour after work enabled me to develop my sales skills, my negotiation skills, my marketing and promotion skills, and also my even some event management skills as well.
It's amazing. What really caught my attention is also your care about people in the organization. What makes you cooperate with people with so many various backgrounds, from so many different cultures, languages, and the heart that you put into this collaboration is amazing. So I'm really curious, what's the spirit behind it for you?
I personally believe in good karma.
Okay.
So that if the more you give to somebody, the more you get back from it. The more energy you put into a project, the more will come back to you. And that's what made me evolve as a person over time as well. It's being an active member at JCI enabled me to meet wonderful leaders from all around the world. So we've got a line which is that in our values, which is that the brotherhood of men transcends the sovereignty of nations, and regardless of our culture, of our languages, as you were saying, of our race, everybody in the organization, 160,000 members in 122 countries, has the same values, which are those of tolerance, of an open mind, and a way to work hard to develop the community and to meet others. And that is what motivates, that is something that keeps driving me today. Now I'm more in a position as a mentor with 15 years of experience, and it really helps me to, I want to pay forward what I learned over the last 15 years, and I don't hesitate to give time, especially when at events, but also apply this in my everyday life to help mentor and coach people to become better and to have a positive and sustainable impact on our communities every day.
Great, fantastic. So talk to me a little bit more about this positive impact on the local communities and the business aspect. So there are like two main things that you can actually notice in the philosophy of JCI: the active citizenship and business,
Yes.
which would be the approach typically that you would see with new members and the national organizations. How does it work in
If we
practice?
go back to the basics of JCI, our mission statement is to be by 2029, by 2030, sorry, the global organization that unites all three sectors of society, which are business, civil society, and government, in order to generate sustainable impact on the ground. And we have a tool called the Active Citizenship Framework, which enables us to set up projects that will have an impact on it. Let's take an example of a project. It's all about identifying the needs of a community. These can vary. In Monaco, we don't have any poverty, thankfully, so we focus on the needs of the young people, which is to develop entrepreneurship skills. In countries like Burkina Faso or in Bangladesh, the onus is on, like the priority is on finding clean water and sanitation for people to live in. In other countries, there are different priorities. In the UK, and Finland, it's about having successful working environments and mental well-being in order to help young people be successful and avoid burnout. So every community has its own needs. We identify these needs and create partnerships with business and civil society in order to launch the projects, publicize them, and measure the impact afterwards. To answer your question about how people can develop their business, it's all about young people getting together, organizing things. And to be honest, if you're working with somebody, a business leader who is very active in the community, you're more likely to work with them, to trust them, because you know their core fundamental values, and you're more likely to trust them to actually do business later, because everybody is driven by the same mission, vision, and values. If you have good ethics in a volunteer organization, you will maintain the good ethics in the business world as well. Hence the interest for any young member with good values, driven by a good core, to be successful.
That's a very good point, and I can totally confirm that I have noticed this works this way. So talk to me a little bit more about the value that the partners of an NGO can get out of the cooperation with JCI. So there might be institutions, there might be governments, other NGOs,
Yes.
companies. How can they see the potential for developing the relationship?
Okay. There's a microeconomic and a macroeconomic aspect to that when we look at partners. The partners can be, take the example of corporations. A corporation can associate with JCI at several different levels. At a local level to obtain impact in the community, or to regional level, or even to national or an area-wide level, for example, in Europe. And we have links to different places. Let's take the example of a JCI chapter in Poland, for example. JCI Wrocław could have great links with a city's mayor, with a community, with the IT community, with a community of lawyers, and that way a smaller company which wants to associate with a special project can actually get links with this network. Conversely, at a global level, JCI has special consultative status with the Economic and Social Committee of the United Nations, and this means that we're associated with promoting the 17 Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, which were set up in 2015 and which strive to really create a better world for the future generations by 2030. And it's a great marketing tool, because partnering with a company like JCI, with an organization, a movement like JCI at a global level, will help a company develop credibility. The final thing which any company can get is tap into our network of active, strong-minded and active young citizens, young active professionals, leaders and entrepreneurs from all around the world who can enhance the credibility and who can also become clients whilst maintaining ethics, like any company in Poland which wants to further the corporate social responsibility slant, or generally wants to further sustainable development goals or well-being or the environment and fighting against pollution or climate change. Any company with an ethical background would find a perfect partner either at JCI Wrocław, JCI Poland, JCI in Europe, or JCI as a worldwide umbrella organization, depending on its scale, scope and target audience. A member joins, I've found after meeting members all around JCI Europe, what I've found is that members generally join for, I can give you 4 reasons, because those are the main reasons why members join on average all around Europe, having travelled to about 30 countries last year. The first thing is seeking for what I was seeking when I first joined as a member. It's like developing a personal network and making new friends in a like-minded manner. The second thing is developing one's business via the network. The third thing is developing soft skills. For example, at JCI in Norway, there's a big emphasis on soft skills, on how you can grow you can speak in public, how you can learn to manage a team, how you can manage stress, and actually running a project in your community will help you to develop these soft skills, which eventually, after 6 months or 1 year or 2 years or 5 years, will make you into a true leader in your community. And the final thing that members can get out of it is simply the greater good, helping the community, helping make a better world, being a vector of positive change in your countries. So these are different things which a member can get, and I find that even if a member comes in to get into a business network, it doesn't work like you just go into JCI without getting involved in a project and then getting something out of it. It doesn't work that way. People who join JCI for those reasons and expect to get everything in return for not investing anything will not get anything out of it. Where JCI is strong is that the more you put into a project, the more effort you put in, and the more time you put in, you're guaranteed a return on investment. And after 15 years in the organization, I finally gained knowledge and the skills. I developed my network in business. I made loads of friends all around the world, and I did contribute in the end to the greater good, I believe, as well. So those were 4 major factors why a member should join.
Great, very informative. In a nutshell, that's amazing.
Exactly. Well.
So, as we're approaching the big moment of the gala, there's
we're getting hungry.
My kind request for you for final 3 tips for the young leaders. How can they be effective leaders within a JCI, NGO, or in their business?
How can they be effective leaders?
Yes.
Okay, that's a tough one to finish with. So how to be an effective leader? I would say the first thing is to stay true to one's values at all times. If you be honest with yourself and stay true to your values, and always deal with humility and respect of others. That's the first thing. We have values which are embodied in our creed, so brotherhood of men transcends the sovereignty of nations. Always stick to the rules. We believe that government should be of laws rather than of men, which means that we have lots of core values, and we believe that we should follow the rules and the constitutions, and it's the same in business. If there are rules which are defined in life, we should stick to them. And so talked about respect of others, respect of the laws, and the final thing is just serving. We believe that service to humanity is the greatest work of life. That is very simple. If our founder, Henry Gissenby, in 1915 hadn't decided to get involved in St. Louis to improving the life of a community of what was at the time the 3rd largest city in the United States, right in the Midwest, on the way to the western coast, we wouldn't have generated an organization of so many young active citizens 104 years later. The impact of one person who wanted to serve humanity then is now improving the lives of others. If we look at the work that JCI Japan did in March 2011 after the Tohoku earthquake in northern Japan, all the young entrepreneurs there mobilized and went straight up there, put on green jackets with JCI logos and helped immediate relief. And 3 months later, whole loads of communities and cities had been rebuilt thanks to the efforts of these young active citizens. This is for me what service to humanity is, and this is how these 3 points, in line with our values, are how we can be efficient and effective and especially ethical leaders for the future.
Yes.
And that's how I see JCI. It's after a while, the core values of JCI do manage one's lives as well. And for me, that is the most important thing and the major driving force in my actions and having a positive impact on people's lives and on the community in general.
Thank you. I would like to acknowledge you for the fact that you actually really show by example how to follow those values and principles, and that the final principle that you mentioned, the service for humanity, is also what you show in your activities as the international officer.
Thank you.
And you have been serving the members with the great support that you have shown. So
it's very kind of you. Thank you. And I think I'm just an isolated example of what JCI can bring to people as an organisation. I would really encourage anybody watching this video, potential member, a potential partner at JCI Poland or JCI Europe, to really get involved, get active in your communities, and be a true vector of positive change in the future.
Great. Thank you very much for the time, and now we'll be heading to the great gala,
yes.
So we will keep you informed about the further developments.
Thank you very much, and I wish to travel to JCI Poland one day in the near future, engage with you directly, with members, and I would just like to say a massive dziękuję to National President Joanna and all the members of JCI Poland, and I wish you all the best for this wonderful year 2019, where we will really be transformers and vectors of positive change. Thank you.
Thank you. Dziękuję.
Dziękuję to you too.